So yeah, so that's I think like yeah, so I think I think it might be well, okay, who's next? Who wants to do something next? Before I declare initiative and we get this party started.
Let's say,
I think just as a dramatic action, Sssibilant's going to throw off her illusory cloak, go, there's no need for that. The gods of rock are already here. And
and I'm gonna pull out the the war horn I carry.
Okay.
And I'm gonna get all indignant and stand up really straight and be like, I am Deekin, seeker and speaker of the fame of Skarnax the Terrible, our great and awful lord. Hear me and know that I am here and serious. And then I'm going to blow on the horn and cast. Maybe I actually did the right theme.
I think in the background, like as we're watching him, we're seeing him from below, like a worm's eye view of him standing tall. And I think in the background, we see like a coiling dragon like swirling around above him as he does this.
Rock the dragon.
Nice.
But I'm going to blow the horn and cast Fear,
Right.
which is a level 3 spell.
Nice. All right, each creature in the 30-foot cone, which is pretty much where these folks are. Yeah, I think that's pretty
including
awesome.
me.
No, you're not in front of my cone.
Well, you could always move a little bit forward.
I
if
stepped
you wanted.
forward. My setting my stance involved me stepping forward to be even with you.
Gotcha. All right, here we go. First one. Nope.
And that's a 15 that they're all trying to make.
Got it. All right, Krim has failed. Next up, Elysian.
Only one I liked.
He has failed. Where's the pail? There she
I
is.
really hope she saves.
I know, what a horrible end. I'm just kidding. All right. And she fails as well. Holy
wow.
toots. Wow. Okay. Yeah, so they have to take the dash action to get away, right?
Set the boat on fire.
Basically, they are frightened, and they're going to spend all of their time while frightened to try to just get away. And the duration is a minute, so 10 rounds.
All right, so the pail,
If they get out of sight, they can try to save again.
Got it.
that was glorious.
So I think let's
We're the gods of rock. Boom.
and so yeah, they basically book it like behind like this curtain over here. They're kind of like running around like trying to get away and move back this way.
Well, that kind of
pretty awesome.
So
blew
look
up
at
my
Deekin, I'm
dramatic
like,
entrance. That's great.
Are we supposed to like be taking them back to Lincoln tonight? Is that?
Well, I mean, you were supposed to
Or
find out where they
something.
are and what the heck's going on. Yeah,
Okay.
that's for sure. So I think, yeah, they start to like book it. And I think that the circle, something that you notice as Krim gets himself up and sees this and then starts to turn, you see that his whole body has been kind of covered in a frosty rime. Like, like kind of like that thin coat of frost across his body. And he's kind of coming back out of this circle that's like starting to emanate, the vapors like coming up, and it's starting to coalesce into the shape of a figure, of a tall, statuesque figure that's appearing.
Hey, I am the only statuesque figure allowed in this room.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. So yeah, it's starting to kind of like appear in this area. And these guys are starting to basically go out the back past the curtains, and they're probably going to head out the window at this
They're
point.
freaking out, man.
Yeah, and all you can hear is the pale shrieking, I failed, I can't believe he didn't want me, I can't believe it. Because they're all seeing the things that they fear most, so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't mess with Skarnax.
So we're still
Somehow I doubt Skarnax is what they're seeing, but good thought.
Well, or his emissary.
Right.
If we're not doing initiative, I'm going to take my hammer and I'm going to go up here. I'm going to smash that machine.
Yeah, I was about to suggest that as well.
I'm gonna scramble right up over the edge here. Just to the
I
front of the
think we
stage.
should all just wind up on the stage.
Yeah, because there's something coalescing.
Check it out.
I'm gonna do it properly.
So yeah, so you go up there and you smash the give me a roll your weapon. So you'll go and you go to the weapon area, just click on the weapon that you have, and then I mean it's unless you get a 1, you're gonna hit the thing. But then I just want to see how much damage you roll.
Yeah, I'm going to do it two-handed. So he gives me that option.
Nice.
Yep. Okay, and then if you hit Warhammer, it's just gonna go ahead and roll both sets of dice for you.
Okay.
Or hit the on the chat side where you have the 19. There you go.
Okay.
Perfect. So yeah, so you got a 12 on that. Okay, so like yeah, you strike it, and as you're getting close to this machine, you see like there's all of these like little tiny brass grills that are all over the place that where the sound is emanating from, and you're kind of wincing a bit at the level of or the volume of it, but you strike true. You cause like sparks and sprockets and little gouts of oil that turn into little brief sparks of blue flame, and the sound starts kind of it's like all this like kind of discordant unpleasantness that's like kind of pouring off of it. And yeah, so I think there's a shape that's starting to coalesce in the middle of that stage. And as you guys are kind of standing and watching it, you get close to that kind of misty curtain of vapors rising upwards, and you can feel the cold emanating from it, and you can see the stage where a frost has started to kind of form on the stage emanating outwards from the circle. And after a moment, there's a shape that appears of a man dressed in skin-tight leather jeans or skin-tight leather pants and a waistcoat that goes down to his thighs. That's kind of like a velour with almost kind of frills on the sleeves and at the collar and everything. And he's got this kind of high cheekbone shape to his face, and a sharp nose and a chin that comes down a little bit, and eyes that are stark blue and sharp. And he's got this blonde hair that it kind of like spikes and swirls and moves a little bit with him. But as he finishes arriving, yeah, I think arriving, that's probably a good description. When he finishes arriving, you see the shape of Vineus Helene as he arrives, and he looks around at the people here, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and remove these guys off of here for now, because you can hear splashes of water outside as they've jumped off the boat, and this towering figure looks down at you, and in his majestic stance, and he's just like a beautiful looking man, and he looks down at you and he says, "Right, so who you lot? You're the ones who called me."
No.
His eyes draw over to Deekin, and he looks down at you. He says, "I don't understand. Why would you not be the ones who summoned me yet be here?"
Because
We
we're
are the
better
Reptile
than the ones
Overlords.
who summoned you.
Yes, and we bested them.
He looks over at Lady Sssibilant, and he's like, "Very good. I like to hear this. So, tell me then, what do I call you?"
We are the Reptile Overlords.
No, you've
Yes.
got to do individual and then the We Are the Reptile Overlords.
Oh, okay.
Reptile.
Would
I am
prepare for
Deekin,
trouble and make
Scalesinger.
it double. I'll press to digitate some effects while each of us introduces ourselves.
Nice. I'm
Lady
I'm digging it.
Sssibilant. Windblown.
Maybe.
Deekin Scalesinger.
Deacon.
Tambor.
Tambor looks up from the wreckage in front of him, and he puts his hammer back on his back, and he looks up and he says, "I am Tambor, the Unrelenting."
Well, man.
And I'm Grymand. the glorious.
Ah,
Together we are your reptile overlords. Lightning.
Yeah, like
you know,
back
if I
flames.
didn't think I'd need it, I would totally breath weapon and get the lightning.
Tambor's like,
yeah, sure. You know
"Holy
what?
hell,
Free
Venomous-
for nothing. You like gout your breath weapon outwards, and
Venomous has that spell. I think that was real lightning, guys.
what the hell, man? So yeah, so he looks down at you and he says, "Look in my eyes. What do you see?"
So it's impolite not to look people in the eye. So Grymand's doing it.
He's kind of looking at his feet to see if he's like charming Grymand.
He has feet. Okay, is it just
I'm
looking
meeting
in the
his
eye?
gaze. I'm not afraid.
All right, cool. How about
We have
you,
the backing
lady?
of Skarnax.
How about
Lady
you, Lady
Sssibilant
Sssibilant?
is-
What are you doing?
Only meets people in the eye when she's trying to hypnotize them.
So she's keen on this trick. Got it.
Looking at his nose.
He's looking at his nice. I'm not looking at his upper lip or his eyebrow. Like right here. He's got a unibrow.
She's
The only
admiring the
flaw.
hair.
And so he says, I know your anger, and I know all your dreams. You've been in, what do they call it now? The music business for a while now, haven't you? Together, it seems, yes. You have a name for yourselves. This is impressive and amusing, I suppose. But I've been around long enough to be everything you want to be. Now, if you would all wish to join me, we could bring this city back to what it once was.
I think you are the technical and exact definition of a has-been, which I think in this case would actually be the basis for casting Vicious Mockery.
Nice.
I'm out. When he says that, I'm going to prestidigitate a small campfire to accompany that burn.
All right, let's roll initiative, and you have the lead with that one. He wasn't expecting you to go that direction because you guys took a different stance, as it were.
I'm going to actually pull up I think he gets disadvantage on his next attack roll.
Right.
Because I just got this feeling of this shade who wants to take over the city, and I'm not cool with that.
Well, it's true because that's Skarnax's turf, and that's what happens. All
But
right.
he's been working hard chilling for Skarnax.
So yeah, he takes he gets no effect on a DC.
What's your DC?
Yeah. So DC 15 Wisdom save for no effect.
Okay, he rolls with advantage on these.
So
To
he
no
takes
effect.
5 damage.
So he takes 5 damage. Nice.
And has disadvantage on his next attack on anybody.
I like it. All right,
Awesome.
let's roll initiative, kids. Hang on, grab your token, and then make sure you go and roll initiative. Grymand,
Sorry.
I got it out there in time. Perfect. All right, and let me grab these. Sorry, we're going so late, guys. I hope it's not a.
Oh, that's fine. For me, at
Last
least.
week was an hour and a half of sleep for work. I think I'll be fine with 6.
Got it.
Meg, if I
Okay.
can move this computer to the other table.
All right.
You want me to move it? Okay, we'll be done here in a little bit.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have. I'm gonna kill all of you right now. But I mean, no. I'm kidding.
Excuse me.
How dare you, sir? All right, so yeah, you. What does it look like when vicious mockery strikes? What is that? What does that?
I
resemble?
mean,
A slap in the face.
with
Yeah,
words.
With
violent words.
I hurt with words. So yeah, so he it's almost kind of like it's like he recoils from a slap like that, and then he turns back and like his hair, those blonde
The
kind of
mane.
blonde locks kind of like turn and swipe away. And I'll be frank with you, the guy looks like David Bowie, and so he stops.
I'm
And,
sure. I'm picturing Labyrinth Bowie.
yeah, and he he turns back and he looks at you and he says, "Let's dance." And, you hear the music like start to like kind of pulsate from behind him. But Deekin, you have the day on initiative, so you go first.
Okay, I'm going to cast another spell. And I'm going to cast this one as a higher level than it usually gets cast.
All right.
Oh, it's a double button. Give me a second. Dissonant Whispers.
Dissonant Whispers. All right.
If he fails the save, then he takes the full damage.
Right. And he has disadvantage at this point?
He has disadvantage on his next attack roll.
Attack roll.
But if he succeeds on the save, then he takes half damage. And it's actually the sum of those two, so 18.
Okay.
Because it's the
Yeah,
3d6 plus the
level.
2d6. Yeah.
Perfect.
But if he succeeds at the save, he takes half of that damage and doesn't have to flee me immediately with his reaction.
Wow. That's pretty impressive. All right. He rolls at advantage for wisdom saves. Here we go. It didn't help him last time. Does it help him now?
Yes.
It does. But he takes half damage, right?
So 9 psychic damage.
Oof. He is pissed. All right.
Man, out of third level
Are
spells.
you... So right now you are in engage range right now. So, I mean, you could attempt to move.
I'm also gonna see that. Was that a? Let me see real quick. I don't remember if that was a full-on action. I feel like it was. I am, going to, of course, draw. Well, I had my mandolin out at this point.
Okay.
But I've got daggers secreted all over my person, so I'm just gonna. I'm a kobold. Got sharp all over. I am going to move over back here behind Grymand now that I have.
Now you're at engagement range, so that's gonna draw an attack of opportunity.
Oh, okay.
Just
Well, then I'm not going to move at all.
that's why I was saying earlier is
Just
that
sit
you
here
guys
on my
kind of
thing
like
going,
stood up close to the circle. So, all right. So that is Deekin. Lady Sssibilant, you're up.
So she's going to take a 5-foot step back and take a bonus action. And as she does, purely for dramatic effect, her costume or her outfit is going to transform
Nice.
as she inspires the group around her. Basically, I'm triggering what is that ability called?
Grab your character.
My Glamour Bard ability.
Glamour Bard.
Okay.
Glamour School. Glamour.
Mantle of Inspiration. So everybody gets 2d8 temporary hit points and can take a full free move towards me as a reaction. It does not inspire attacks of opportunity.
Nice. So
you
who
can
rolls
move
the
a full
2d8?
up to your movement.
do you roll? I think you rolled a 2d8, right, Lady Sssibilant?
Yeah.
So go ahead
Just
and roll
one
that.
for everybody.
Yeah, just roll that, and then that way everybody. All right, everybody,
not bad.
crank your HP up 9 points. So just use your little tick marker and bap bap bap. You could. There's actually a temporary hit points box there as well if you want to use that. All right,
There is.
nice.
Yes.
very cool.
Underneath
That
your
the
current
green
hit
circle
point.
is.
Since that was my bonus action, I'm going to use Dissonant Whispers as well.
All right.
We get to move too, right?
Has been.
Yeah,
has
you'll.
been.
You're. Has been. That's awesome. I love it. All right. So wisdom save. We'll go ahead and roll your Dissonant Whispers. Let's see how much damage you got. Nope. Where's the attack?
What do I? Oh, I don't think it's actually in my attacks.
Say if you have it, if you have it as an attack, then
Hang on one sec. Let me check your spell list real quick. Mage Hand, Vicious Mockery.
what level are you casting it as?
Dissonant
3.
Whispers.
So you could just do 5d6, roll 5d6.
Okay.
Yeah, you could just roll 5d6. That's fine. Just do that.
Why did they move?
Because we had he did Mantle of Inspiration.
Yeah, so you
And
can
then
move away as
your
well as a
DC
reaction.
is 15.
Yeah, it just has to be in my general direction, but other than that.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Here he goes. Let's get his wisdom save. He has advantage on these again. Just a reminder. See if it helps. What's your
Equal.
15.
15.
15? Okay, so he makes it, but he takes 9 points damage again.
It's not
Psychic.
bad at all.
Psychic damage. You guys are pouring it on. That's good. Okay, Grymand, you're also going at the same time. What do you do?
Grymand will have followed, but he is keeping himself at the front.
It's good to know.
And he will say, "All that is worth being, I will make myself. I do not need you. You do not own me." And he will draw his scimitar and his dagger and do a defensive flourish,
Ooh, nice.
which is it's from the College of Blades,
Yep.
where I dual wield and make a cool, like, it's basically just an act of finesse. He's just showing off,
Right.
saying, like, this is what I am without you. I don't need you. And it raises my AC for something.
Yep. You
But
spin
really,
your
I'm
weapon
doing it-
around in swift circles, creating a hypnotic display. As a bonus action, you expend 1 use of Bardic Inspiration, so make sure you take one off. Rolling a Bardic Inspiration die, which is your D8, and applying that number roll to your bonus as an 8, or to your AC bonus for your until the start of your next turn. So, yeah, so roll 1d8. So, if you've not done that before, all you have to do is do a /R space 1d8 in the chat window.
Where is our Bardic Inspiration on the sheet?
Wrong slash.
Under resources, right above where you have your, it's on the right-hand side of the character sheet.
Right under ideals, bonds, and flaws.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay,
So
I did
make
that
sure
wrong,
you-
apparently.
That's okay.
Make sure your armor class is actually set correctly if you're wearing leather. Base stat plus dex.
And a +1 for black leather. No, I'm just kidding. All right. So,
Does it matter how
So-
tight it is?
no, it's fine. It's so /R space and then
Oh, space.
1d8. There it is. Oh no. All right. So your
Leslie
AC,
rolling strikes again.
it's better than not having it at all. So you have
Point
+1 in your
being-
AC,
I am trying to draw his attention to me.
which
You succeeded
very
at
well
that.
may work. Very well may work. All right. So that is
That was your
Grymand.
bonus action. Are you doing anything with your action?
That's right.
That was a bonus action?
Yeah,
I
that's
thought
a
Is that
bonus
what you
action.
said?
I believe it's a
No,
bonus
the
action.
bonus action I thought was making it part of my armor.
Yeah, so you still have an action. You can attack.
Oh,
You could
I thought that was.
cast a deadly spell.
I don't have much in the way of deadly spells. But you know what? I am glorious, and I will just stab him.
All right. Give it the 1, 2, or the 1 at least. But don't roll a 1. Just give him the first
I
one.
actually no, I do have. Do I have 2 attacks? No, I have 2 weapon fighting is what I have, which actually I think means I can still stab with both.
I think, is the second one require a bonus action?
It does.
Yeah, so
Okay,
you
so I
used your
can
bonus
just
action
scimitar.
already. So yeah, just the scimitar.
I can't see it. What does
Nice.
it do?
Unfortunately, it's a miss.
It's the
He
13.
sweeps aside what you thought was a staff, but it's actually a microphone stand, and he knocks your blade aside, and
It just does the
and unfortunately, it does not work.
It's a microphone stand, huh?
Yeah,
Made of metal?
sure, why not?
made of
Cool.
something conductive.
So so I think like once that happens, he looks down at you and you can see that he's got this like this grim look upon his face of just like outright just anger and maybe hurt pride, I would think would be like another thing. But what ends up happening is he starts like thinking, and he looks around and he says, "Where are my roadies at?" And he like slams the microphone stand down once, twice, 3 times, and
A lady.
3 times a lady. And out of that comes a grouping of miniature looking humanoids with weird, like sharp ears and long black hair. They look like they've probably just got done smoking a carton of cigarettes, and they all have leather pants and leather vests, but no shirts. And they all start piling in out of nowhere from the seats and start surging towards you in roadie attack formation as they come up.
What is roadie attack formation? I imagine it's very unsteady.
It's very unsteady. They're small. They're like the size of Deekin. And they're walking, like ambling and stuff and trying to like crawl up the stage at this point. I think 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3,
Not
1, 2, 3,
attractive.
1, 2, 3, and that's about as far as they get. The first roadie though is going to be able to get an attack on Deekin, so I'm going to go ahead and have that be a thing. So he comes flying in and uses one of his. You see his face; it's like scraggly looking, like almost like a just like an old weathered man. But he opens his mouth and his mouth elongates a little bit, and you see sharp teeth. And he comes in for a bite attack. Whap!
Nope.
No, and he misses, and you see like little trails of poison and stuff dripping off of his fangs as he came in for the attack. All right, that is Phineas's move. And he is going to... Yeah, he's going to stay his ground. All right, next up is Tambor.
Tambor still has his hammer in his hand and is very, very frustrated to see what's happening. So he takes his hammer above his head and he says, "This stops now." And he slams it down on the ground. Where's my little pinger? Right there.
Ooh.
So
Okay.
click my thing here.
I think I know what's happening. And I think it's going to be epic.
We shall see.
Do it! Do it now! What is this? Oh! Thunder wave! Boom, boom, boom.
So it's a 15-foot cube.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put the corners of it here and here.
Where's the second one?
Thunderwave.
Right there. So kind of left.
All right. So you're going to probably, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. You'll probably get all 4 of those in there.
Yeah.
That'll work. All right. So half damage, not pushed. All right. Constitution saves. This is I'm going to go from left to right.
Sure.
So first one.
Yeah.
Ah, dang, that's a save. Okay. What's your target? 15 or 16?
14.
14. Dang. Okay. All right. Next one. So that's half damage there. Fail. All right. And third one. Come on. Fail. And fourth one. Fail. Oh my goodness. All right. So this one takes half damage. Is that right? So
5.5,
round down.
6.
So 5.
5.
All right. So yeah, this one is like shaken. Like you can see his like his parts of his pants start to shred, and his vest kind of cracks and peels open. In his chest, you see like it's like just kind of like skinny. All you see is like skin and bones. But the other 3, they splatter. And they're all like, you just hear them like going, "Oh man, no way!" and like all at once as they start like shattering and falling apart.
The corpses are also pushed 10 feet along with any other unsecured objects.
Yeah. So like, yeah, they get kicked out. They get kicked outward this way, and leaving behind like is this trail of like cigarette butts, like just kind of trailing out behind them, and you can smell like that, that old like old packs of Marlboro being smoked and
Stale
stuff. Just
cigarette.
yeah,
smoke.
just kind of like the stale cigarette smell just kind of trailing behind them.
That's
Nice,
nasty.
nice work. So are you moving there, Tambor, or are you going to stand your ground?
I'm going to stay my ground. I'm fine where I am.
Okay.
You're unrelenting.
As a bonus action, I'm going to look over at Grymand and say, "You're doing the ladies in waiting proud." So I'm giving that's my bardic inspiration.
Nice. So you're going to have a D8 that you can add to an attack or save or skill check.
Or
at your-
AC.
Or AC. Was it AC?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty
Oh,
much anything.
I did not know
I
that.
have. I will just let everybody know because I may pop in with it at some point later if I deem it appropriate. I have what's called cutting words, where I can use my inspiration to subtract from one of my enemy's rolls of that variety,
Fancy.
and I can announce that after you roll, but before we declare results. So
Dig it. Dig it. We'll keep it ready to go. I'm loving it. Okay. All right. So you want to roll? Well, okay. So we'll make sure you remember your inspiration there.
So
Grymand. So
I-
Deekin, you're up.
am casting this
Magic missile.
Ah, dun dun dun.
on the mic stand.
Not his mic stand.
Yes.
Come on.
One of my
now.
favorite spells.
I hate heat metal when it's used against me. Constitution save or what?
Constitution save to drop the item. If he makes it, he still takes full damage, but has disadvantage on all his everything else.
Yeah. Got it. And he fails.
He
fails.
takes 12 damage,
Got it.
and if he goes to pick it back up, I can do this again on every turn after for a bonus action.
Mm-hmm.
Nice work.
It's a beautiful
Well
thing,
done.
heat metal.
Well
And
done.
then I am going to also use a point of bardic inspiration on Tambor and say, "That was a really great hammer hit."
I like that our bardic inspiration is like pep talk.
I mean,
Go
I'm
you!
strumming along while I'm doing it. I mean,
You
Oh, very
go.
nice.
You go, you. There, his mic.
also,
his mic
along
stands
with
like
the
right
heat
there.
metal, I think Deekin says, "You think you're hot? Try this."
I love it.
Very nice.
That is so good. So good.
So right now, Deacon and Tambor both have bardic inspiration.
Yes.
Grymand and Tambor both have a point
Okay.
spent.
All right.
Have
So yeah, Lady Sssibilant and Grymand, you were both up. Sssibilant, you want to go first?
Sssibilant just takes a step forward and opens her mouth wide and just sprays poison into the face of this so-called god.
How about you step up?
No, it's not an actual. It's a targeted attack.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
like
okay.
a spitting
It's not an actual
cobra.
spray.
It's like a spitting cobra of some kind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Technically, it's supposed to be my hand, but come on. Clearly, they spit it out of their mouth.
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. All right, let's have it. Poison spray. You extend your hand, your mouth. Da da da. The creature must succeed on a Constitution saving throw, or take 1d12 poison damage. The spell's damage is increased. Blah blah blah. Okay.
Yeah, but I missed my attack. Like I only rolled a 9.
Ah, okay. So yeah, so he I think he swirls his coat.
Oh yeah.
He swirls his coat and he spins like in this perfect circle, and it just kind of like wafts it away. And
Very nice.
And and he stops and he faces off with you. He says, "I've lost me mate. I lost me mic,
Hon,
and I've
this
lost me patience."
this shouldn't be an attack. This is just a con save, and either con save for damage or con save or like this isn't an attack. This is just a save against damage.
It's not a ranged
Oh.
attack.
No,
Oh,
I don't know why it treated it as one.
yeah, I treated it as a ranged attack. That's
it's
interesting.
weird.
Well, okay, I'll give him a
It
con
certainly won't
save.
object to
That's
just
worked
doing
with
the
me.
damage.
Works with me. So con save, right? Blammo! Here we go. He does not get advantage on these, just wisdom saves.
He still makes
He
it.
makes it. All right.
Fuck.
So
All right.
previous scene stands, but
All right.
Yeah.
Sssibilant, are you
Yeah,
moving?
he still takes no damage.
Yep.
I'll move back a little bit.
Okay. All right. Next up is Grymand.
Question.
Yes.
Can I add the bardic inspiration to a DC?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay.
I don't believe so.
no, but I can. Oh, well, never mind. We already did that. Never mind. I can subtract using mine.
Because
So
the thing is, I don't know, because she just did that. It was because I have a breath weapon too.
Yeah.
go for it.
I bet your breath weapon is a lot better than mine.
Yeah, but
Mine's
the
a
save
cantrip.
is
It's okay.
is
I'm actually
pathetic.
prepped for cutting words now, so do it.
There you go.
Okay.
Because I'll get to
So-
subtract a D8.
Sadly, I didn't he didn't actually attack me, so I didn't need to worry about my AC. But Grymand will have stopped with his arms crossed, with he's got a scimitar and his dagger, and then he just throws his arms down and out to the side. And as he does so, he leans forward and just breathes lightning at this
Dang.
figure.
Dang.
And as he's doing that, he's just expelling as much air as he had in his lungs.
Right.
But so with the dragon locks that we've established, and the weird effect that has, there's this chord like 5 men just in harmony, just belting out a note with the crackling of the lightning.
That's so good. I love it.
And it's
I
gonna
really love it.
But DC is currently 13.
13. And what kind of save is it?
I forgot already.
Probably Dex.
Probably a dex save.
It's lightningness. I
Let's
found
see.
it under Dragon Ball.
Let me give it a shot.
Okay.
He
I'm
fails.
not gonna add anything,
So how much
any
damage?
insult to that.
2d6.
All right. You want to try the 2d6 roll? So /R space 2d6.
I like how you know me well enough to say try.
I mean, it
Not
does
what I
2d12
meant.
damage. Probably about 7.
Nice. That's slightly above average. I like it.
Yeah,
All right,
that is
so
actually
mine's-
average.
Oh, it is. Quiet you. Oh,
I
wait, I
was
went the wrong
gonna.
way.
That's
could've
great.
used My friggin' bardic inspiration for that.
You can't
Oh,
use it on the damage, only on the attack roll.
Only on the attack. Okay.
All right, so he gets zotted back right there. He's staggers a bit, and he's like shaking it off a bit, and I think he he steps back and he looks at you and he looks at the rest of you and he says, "That's really hurt." And he like just rips forward with his voice. His voice just rips into the auditorium, and I think he's gonna do a face melting solo.
Come back to us, darling. You got quiet.
Sorry, I maxed out my volume. He unleashes a face melting solo at you, and I need to get a Constitution save of DC 16 from Grymand.
Is this a spell effect?
It is a spell effect, yes.
And that's
Force.
for all of us?
Force
Just
damage.
Grymand.
No, it is just for Grymand.
Oh, sorry, come on.
All right. So I can find myself in times of trouble.
All right, so when you're at your character sheet, you want to hit in the box where it says saves. You don't want to hit your stat. You want to hit the box where it says
The
saves.
Constitution saving.
Yeah, and hit Constitution. Yeah.
Jeff, your volume is really low.
Oh, is it? You know what? I think what happened was when I
Yes.
shouted. Let me reset. How's that? Is that better?
And then go ahead and add 1d8 to that.
There you
Use your inspiration now.
go.
That's
Nice.
what I was wondering if I could after I had rolled, or if I needed to
Yep.
say that
Highly
before.
advised.
I roll-
Nope.
I rolled it already for you.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I did.
Hey, there we go.
What did you roll for me, darling?
A Quattro.
That's okay
That's
because
4.
all you needed was a 1, and you hit. You hit your save. Or no, I'm sorry, you needed a 3, but you got a 4, so you got your save. So you take half damage on that, so that is 12. So minus 12 on your character.
Whew.
Well, so much for those temporary hit points.
Yeah.
But hey, only 3 below max. That's
Yeah, but
I
that
know, right?
helps. That helps a lot. So yeah, so that's his action there. He
Do you want 9 more temporary hit points?
yeah, he looks down at his mic and he looks back up at you and he starts to kind of fume a bit. And yeah, so like that's kind of the end of his portion, but then the roadies come in and start making their
Can
attack.
I do something real quick?
You can.
In the face of that, since it happened
Mhm.
immediately after Grymand had done his thing, Grymand did not move
Nice.
when it happened. Like that, there was that blast coming from him, and he just was still leaning forward, arms back, and he just let it wash over him.
I love it. That is pretty cool. I dig it.
I'm
All right.
Grymand and I'm glorious.
So
His scarf rippling behind him.
I dig it. I really dig it. That is cool. All right, roadies are up, and they're gonna start jumping in to defend their masters. So first one on Deekin is, I mean, this is all they get. So let's see what they do. Oh my gosh,
I like
that's a hit.
the 3 better.
Is that the?
That's a hit.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. So I need a DC 11 Constitution saving throw from you.
Mm.
Yes, I love it.
I made it.
All right, so all you take is half damage on this, so that is 3. Take 3 points of damage on a hit. Wait a minute. A target must save on a DC 11 saving throw, taking 3d6 poison damage on a failed save, or half as much damage on a successful one. So
So I take 4 poison and 7 piercing. So 11 total.
Yes. No. 4 and 4, so 8. 3 and 4,
Oh.
7. 7 points of damage total. And you saved against the poison, so you're fine. All right, next up, we've got 2 on Tambor. So they're coming in. Tambor heads up. Here we go. That's a miss. Critical fail on the first attack. Second attack, he sees his partner fail, and he throws a burnt cigarette at his head and says, "This is how you do it," and he hits. So if I can get a DC 11 Constitution save from you as well.
You got it.
So are we not doing the fumbles?
What's that?
Well,
Hey, you made it.
No, yeah, you made it. You're good. So you take 2, 5, 7 points of damage.
All right.
Okay, and that is Vanias and Rhodey's turn. We are at Tambor.
So they're gnawing on me as I'm still picking up the hammer out of the hole on the other side of the stage.
Yeah.
So I just take it over and I swing it back the other way. And I said, not today. And as it hits the ground, it erupts with the sound of thunder.
Nice.
Where is it? All right.
Now, if you want to rotate a bit on the stage, you could potentially get
Hit him
Vanias in there
too.
too.
Yeah, that's what I was planning on doing, like going kind of directly over my head. So I'm getting
Coolio.
all 3 of them there.
Get him.
Thunder Wave.
Oh, yeah, baby. All right, DC 14 con saves. So let's do the short guys first.
Failure takes 14 damage.
Oh, that's a save. Okay, first one that was on the top.
So you'll take 7.
And that is... Dang, he made it. Okay, so -7. No, you know what? That does it. Actually, that's right on the... What do you call it? Right on the dot? Right on the nose?
Which one?
Both of them. Because they both
Right.
take 7, right? So...
Yep. And then what is...
But unfortunately, I hit them right on the nose.
Yeah, it totally just like the thunder just like goes through it, and as that
Spray of
happens,
cigarette
like
butt.
What does he make
explode,
on his
their
con
heads
save?
their heads explode in like a bunch of cigarette butts and like a puffy cloud of powder or something like that. And
really?
You're not quite sure what that is, but yeah, that kind
I
of
bet they got it from Vinny's place.
it's possible. All right, so Vanias, he needs to do his save as well. Where is his character sheet? There it is.
Cutting something.
Con save. Blammo. Oh, and he saves.
He makes it as well. So
Yeah,
9.
he still takes 9 though.
He's
This was
decidedly unhappy with us.
His mic stand flies back.
Probably so.
Yeah, his mic stand goes flying. So it's like this. And then it sets the curtains on fire.
Yes.
So they start
Yes,
burning.
more fire.
And there's like a imprint now on the
Destroy what
stage
you've
of that
done.
mic stand. That's pretty awesome. Okay, Tambor, are you moving or are you standing strong? Get rid of these guys.
I'm fine. Actually, I'll kind of move around here. I'm not trying to pick up the mic stand. I'm just trying to kind of block the others from getting attacked.
Okay, got it.
We're being wall-like.
Yeah, hell yeah. Deekin, top of the round. We're back to you.
So, let me read a spell definition real quick. Okay. I'm going to turn around and just kind of stab this last roadie with my short sword.
Okay.
So yeah, 18, and I deal 9 piercing. So I believe that kills it.
Yeah, that's straight up dead. You murder him.
And
And,
now your
and
sword
you
smells
cut
bad.
like, do you cut across his middle, across his head? What do you do?
I think I was playing, and I just kind of pull it out and kind of reverse grip and stab back.
All right. So yeah,
Nice.
so like I think when you pull your sword out, there's like just like scads of like packs of cigarettes come out of his stomach and just kind of lands with like that kind of crinkly plastic sound on the ground on the deck at your feet. But these are curiously unopened packs of cigarettes. There you go. And it's that you can see like the camera kind of zooms in on it briefly, and it's like it's got the VH on it. And it has 2 crossed cigarettes that are smoking upwards. That's the symbol on the pack. Yeah, so that one is no more as well. Any movement from our friend Deekin? Any bonus actions you want to do?
Actually, as a bonus action, I'm going to pull out a dagger and fling it at Mr. VH.
Nice. Give me a roll. Ooh, that's a hit.
Damage is actually only going to be a 1 because I don't get to add my dex to my dual weapon.
All right,
So
every point counts. Every point could
Yeah.
be the very last. I dig it. All right.
One drop raises the sea.
Sssibilant and Grymand, you guys are up.
Sssibilant, darling.
Sssibilant is just going to give him a disdainful look him directly in the eyes, and say, "I don't believe you deserve to look upon our glory,"
Oof.
and attempt to blind him.
Oh, hell no. I mean, okay.
So that is a Constitution save.
All right. Here we go. Staying away from the wisdom saves where he has advantage. I'm offended. Did he make
Come
it?
on.
he made it.
All
Yeah.
right. So what's your save is a 15 though, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay. So he you see his like eyes kind of squint and he's like, "Darling, not the eyes. What's my best trait? Besides my voice." And he like opens his eyes and they've like gone from blue to like swirling violet and blue. Yeah. So are you moving? Bonus action? Anything you want to do?
No, I think I'm gonna save I don't really have a good bonus action to take here.
Okay. All right. And you're going to stay in place?
Yeah, I'm good with my position.
All right. Grymand.
All right. Well, I've used my wonderful death weapon. It is gone for now.
It was pretty an awesome usage of it, though.
I was pleased with how it turned out.
Yeah.
What was the save that he gets? The double on?
You can tell that
Wisdom.
he seems a lot sturdier on the wisdom saves. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. Well, what do I have? I have a harp on my hip, dagger in one hand, scimitar on the other. I wouldn't have brought the drums because the drums I typically use are, in fact, kits. So they're not exactly.
They come out
what I
like a
would call
transformer.
portable. Actually, just carry the cowbell with me everywhere I go.
So, good. Now I have a
Like
headache.
that one
No.
guy in Chicago who plays all the drum kit toys,
Hell yeah.
the weird gourd thing with the shaker.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
Sorry, I just saw Chicago in concert, so.
It's good, man.
It was awesome. All right, well, I don't really have a great mental image for how this is going to work, but he held the pose, and then he's going to bring up his dagger and his scimitar and clash the flats together and cast Shatter.
Oh, hell no. Hell no.
Maybe. Oh, and guess what I've got left hanging around? One more level 3 spell slot.
All right. Casting it big time. Whew. All right, that's pretty good. That is pretty healthy. Here we go, con save. Oh, he fails. He fails. So, talk to me about Shatter. What does that look like now?
Well, Shatter is going to be, since it is thunder based, it will be that kind of traditional disruption of the visibility. It will be from the clashing of the blades. You'll see that the waves kind of reverberate out through the air like that, like a heat distortion, only it's, sound.
Right. Okay.
And it doesn't knock him back, but it's like, when you feel bass in your chest, kind of just start back from the core to the arms.
That's awesome. I love it.
I mean, if it was really good damage, it would make his ears bleed, but I don't think we're quite that high.
Well, you know what? I mean, like he's getting rocked in every sense of the word, right? So like you can see him like gritting his teeth like that, and you see you see a little trickle of blood coming from his nose and his ears, and he's taken a step back, and he's kind of like this dramatic, like painful pose, that's way too artistically rendered to be, I don't know, to actually show that he's taking damage. He's trying to take damage in style, and so he's like,
after he does that real quick, Grymand says, "Do we have your attention?"
Yes. So. Oh yes, love. You have my attention. Who's next? Oh, it's him. That's right. So I think like in the background, you start hearing like a bass line start to strum, and it's kind of like this kind of creeping beat that goes along, and he starts kind of singing these phrases. He's saying, "I'm like a mirror. I'm nothing till you look at me, but you'll leave your world behind and come to me. I'm closer to you than I seem." And he starts dancing and moving, and he executes what's called dope moves and starts moving amongst you and heading towards this area of the stage to kind of like be amongst you. And I think he is going to go ahead and he's going to run this. I need to have you guys all give me
attacks of opportunity?
No, because dope moves is like Misty Step. And as he makes his way through, he steps in amongst you, and he opens his arms like this, and all of a sudden the most beautiful bass guitar you've ever seen appears in his hands, and he just strums the low E chord, and he emits a paralyzing bass line. The God of Rock uses his paralyzing bass line, DC 16 charisma, or be paralyzed. So if I get a charisma save from each of you, using whatever.
Tambor, you still have a D8 you can use.
I may have to check that into there. Deekin did good.
I don't think you've used your D8 there yet.
Yeah, you haven't used your D8 on yourself yet.
I just did, and wasn't enough.
Okay, that's worth a try.
So here's a fun fact.
Yes.
Yonti get advantage on saving throws against spells and spell-like effects.
Nice. So you save. Grymand saves. Deekin saves. But Tambor, the bass and the sound of his voice reaches into your soul and puts you into an easeful repose. An easeful repose of rocking. So like you take like whatever the best pose that you've ever struck on stage has ever been, that's the pose you assume now.
What is that pose, Jason?
Yeah, I'm curious.
It's probably right after he's done some kind of a tumble. So he's like down on his knee with his head down. Normally he'd have his tambourine here. Instead it's just he's got the hammer, I guess, aloft.
All right, so
Let's
so
do a
you
Unrelenting.
look absolutely epic in your stance, but you are paralyzed.
And all he's thinking is those bass players are always trying to upstage the tambourine guy.
Can't have that.
All right.
So how does one save against this effect?
So the paralyzing effect, you are going to get another save at the top of your turn. So which is now.
For Tambor is now.
Yeah. So Tambor, you're frozen for your turn, but at the end of your turn you can make another save attempt. So if you give me another charisma save, DC 16.
Nope.
All right. Okay. So you're still frozen.
Still frozen.
We go to Deekin.
Deep in thought.
Deekin in thought.
All right.
Sorry.
So, that's actually pretty good.
Sorry.
I'm going to dissonant whisper him again.
Aw, snap.
So I'm going to throw up the card real quick. And that's on the character sheet. Got all these buttons to make this easier. I'll do this as level 1.
All
Oh,
right.
wow. Yes.
There you go. He gets advantage on wisdom saves, just as a reminder. But unfortunately, it is enough. So he
And
takes
I am
half.
cutting words and
Oh.
reducing that by 5.
Oh, nice.
Because he's pathetic.
Nice.
And we are the Reptile Overlords.
move. That is
We are his
14
Reptile
points of psychic
Overlords.
damage.
That is 14 points of psychic damage, and he has to move away from me with his full movement, which I think puts him running past Grymand,
It would normally. You would think that.
but he's done.
But unfortunately, yeah, he's done. You're dissonant
Unfortunately.
whisper. So what does it look like as you're like doing this, and then you add in the flavor of the cutting words? What does that look like when we see Deekin do this?
We are your Reptile Overlords.
Yes.
Fall to your knees.
And I think I think that happens. I think like you see him start to shrink and he collapses to his knees, right? The bass guitar turns into mist and kind of vapors upwards towards the rafters. And as your words kind of like cut into him and you see like his leather jacket starts to shred, or the velour jacket, I should say, starts to shred. And as he starts to collapse, he starts to shrink, and you see his outfit start to change. It changes, and it's almost like for those who have any history in culture and couture, they see the changes of outfits from around the realm. And you see like there's like this history of music in his changing outfits as he like starts to shrink and he starts to die. And like he's trying to sing, but his voice won't carry any tunes. And you see like different instruments fly into his hands, like a tambourine, a bongo drum. He's got a little ukulele he tries for a second and it doesn't seem to work. He tries a cello that comes up, but then he can't reach the neck because it's too tall for him as he shrinks and he falls. And at the bottom, on the wood below, his initials burn into the wood, but in the center of the V and the H is a guitar pick. And then you hear the last strum of a mournful E minor. And the Reptile Overlords are victorious, and they stand over this guitar pick and this smote ruin of the rock god Venias Helene. And I think we start to hear, like in the background, we hear... I think we hear knocking on heaven's door start to strum in the background, kind of like an echoey version, like from Lethal Weapon at the end of that song or that movie. We start hearing that kind of like echoing in the background, and I think, so what you guys do is you kind of like, you become unfrozen. Obviously, you kind of like, you stop and you're like, your muscles are a little tense, but you're alive, and you look over and you see the ruin of the rock god. So what does the band do?
Strike a pose.
I think we do strike a pose.
Nice.
And as we strike a pose, I look at the others and say, when's that gig we're supposed to go to now? That's this morning, right?
I think that's like right where it stops. I think that's like where the curtain starts to kind of rise, and you have this pose of the band as they're like kind of climbing off the stage, or gathered on the stage, and it turns into like the drawing like on sheet music at the top, and then you start seeing notes starting to fill the page and everything, and we start hearing your theme song.
That's a lot classier than the ending I was picturing, which was, we strike our poses, and he asks that question, and we all just kind of go, oh.
We're so fired.
Sound like it.
No, it's just like we're beat and whipped and just exhausted, and we're like,
Absolutely.
this is gonna be the best night ever. Can it be tomorrow?
That's awesome. It's like the music is just like the string, the music bars are kind of like fading upwards, and we start seeing credits, rolling with the, the names of who played who and everything, and all the musical credits and stuff going by.
Get the shawarma scene.
The shawarma scene at the end. And I think like right at the bottom, at the last part, the burner, or the stinger at the end credits is there's a hand, kind of much the similar we saw at the beginning of the episode. There's a hand that reaches over and picks up the guitar pick, and whose hand is it?
Who plays the lute or similar instrument?
Deekin.
Obviously, Deekin.
It's about he got the kill too.
And so you
Sure.
pick it up and you're like holding it up, and we have a close up of your face. And I think like as you pick the guitar up, or the pickup, and you hold it up to your nose and your snout, we start to see flames like burning in your eyes. And then behind you, we see like the image of a dragon like raising its head and roaring. And then, it just snaps to black, and that's it.
That's so cool.
So,
You're
Awesome.
so cool.
so
Group 2 is going to be fighting you.
So way to go, you guys. Fantastic. Nice work.
There's a kobold waiting for you.
That was some really creative gameplay. I was really surprised by some of the tactics, but that's good. Way to go. Way to go.
I had been thinking of that initial like cast fear, blow a horn, give my little speech thing.
That set everything off. This was potentially going to have to be a 2-part combat, because I thought we were going to go a lot later than this, which is already late enough. But the plan was, kind of again behind the curtain thing. The plan was that they were going to challenge you to a band, a concert off or a song off, whatever. They're going to rock
Battle
each
of
other.
the bands.
Battle of the bands. Whoever performed the best was going to earn the favor of the forthcoming rock god. And the decision to make there was, were you going to side with him to usher in a new age of rock, or were you going to see him as a threat to the city and the balance that the city has found, and stop him, which you chose the latter.
I think you figured out what our...
Instead, we took the third option of no one is good enough for us to follow them.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. Nobody thought of that. Nobody expected the Reptile Overlord Inquisition.
But that popped into my head like midway through the first game, when like I really started getting the hang of like what Deakin's thing with Skarnex was.
Absolutely, yeah. There's
Like,
only
I've got
one
this
rule.
thing.
That's cool.
Great.
That's really cool. So like the whole thing, as far as like the story and all that stuff. The elf, she was known as by another name, Broken Rose, and she is actually over 1,100 years old. She's been there in Sapphire Harbor in one shape or form since the beginning, when it used to be the Pale. Since the beginning, when it used to be just an elvish settlement. Oh no, wait, she's 1,700 years old. Sorry. And so what had happened is they had failed the rock god that had called this place home, and he had decided he wanted to go and gather music from other places, and so he left. And so this whole thing was her time trying to figure out, Sapphire Harbor has become this magnet for music, and so she thought, well, I'm going to bring all the styles together, and then I'm going to bring the rock god back, and then bring our kingdom back to fruition. So that was
who was the sad face singing the sad song?
Oh, she had seduced him to get the books that she needed on the history, and to figure out other information that she needed for doing this summoning, this ritual, because she realized she had to bring in magic from other areas, so she needed the history books as well. So what ended up happening with him is that she bargained with him for an ancient elvish song, and taught him how to play it over the course of a few days. And so he was kind of singing that lament when you guys were at the house.
Well, the good news for Tambor is this is the first time he's been sober in about 12 years.
Yeah.
He's probably going to go break up with Monica and maybe get some help.
I was gonna say, I feel like the scene of us getting back to our rooms for the night was we throw Monica out and then we all go to bed.
Exactly.
You just all you see is the
We-
door close, and she's just like,
No. There's one more. She knocks on the door, and just a white hand comes out and sprays her in the face with poison, and then closes.
that's awesome. I love it. All right, well, fantastic work, everybody. I had so much fun putting this together, and so much fun seeing how you guys, took the challenge and ran with it. So my hat's off to you. Just fantastic work. I hope you guys had fun. I had a blast doing this.
It was so much funner playing a subpar character than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
What is this?
Because he doesn't believe it now.
Well, basically, because it was so much more fun to play, like role playing wise, to have a little quirky like kobold bard that it didn't matter that some of my stats may not have been as high as they could be. So it was like,
Oh yeah.
Well,
it was
the
just
other
so
thing
much fun.
too is that when you enter into a game like this, it's kind of like a mutual agreement. The one thing that you're going to do, the one thing that was my job, was not to put you up against something that's going to just wipe you all out. You're not going to go in and charge after an army of dragons. You're not going to be there to stand in the face of orcish hordes, but something that's urban centric or lore mastery type stuff. I mean, a group like this could survive and do well and thrive, I think, just because of your cunning and your inventiveness in the game. So yeah, I liked it. So all right, well, it is vastly late for our East Coast and Central time zones. It's late for me, and it's only 10:30 of my time in the Pacific, but I'm wore
Good
out.
game, man.
I'm wore
It was
out.
awesome.
You guys are
Yeah,
awesome.
this
Yeah, you
was
guys
really
are
great.
Thank you so much, Jeff.
glad to do it.
Fantastic.
Glad to do it. I can't wait to see if this group does something else. I don't know. We were talking off camera about apocalypse type stuff, and I wonder if maybe Apocalypse World is in our future. I don't know. Maybe I'd just put a bug in your ear. Anyway.
Y'all know where to find me.
There you go. All right. Well, as always, huge thanks to the audience. However many of you who are enjoying this video, I hope it helps you to learn that, you can put together pretty much any kind of game. And the importance is having people around the table, whether it's a digital or a live table. It's the importance of being able to make friends over a set of dice, over a set of rules, and over a lot of fun. So do yourself a favor. Do something like this. Do something crazy. The crazier, the better, because then you all are having fun and being crazy together. I think that's the key. So you want to find out more about InnRoads Ministries, check us out below, inroadsministries.com. All the links are there. Facebook, all that jazz, Twitter, everything. I've got my good buddy here, Jason. I got my fantastic friend, Leslie. I've got my glorious friend, Alistair. And I've got my stylish friend, Patrick, to thank for a fantastic time. So looking forward to how the other groups finish out. We'll see if they meet with the same level of glory as this group. I have a feeling they will, but we'll see. Have a great night. Have fun. Get out there, play games, make some friends. We will see you all very soon.